Madden. $100,000 game of Madden coming your way. Who's going to be the champ? Who's going to the Super Bowl? He kicks it out of the end zone. And so he'll start with it first. Ibestrafing. For the folks at home, RG, what are these playbooks?
So you're going to have Ibestrafing's going to be running the New England Patriots offensive playbook and that New York Giants defensive playbook. For Pavan, it's going to be the Tampa Bay Buccaneers offensive playbook, and he is also in that New York Giants defensive playbook.
So these guys are setting up their audibles. They're getting ready to go. Substitutions on offense and defense, and now we're ready to rock. 20-minute game, and we already got somebody stepping off sides here, and that's going to be a penalty.
Oh, it's just a gentleman's agreement. He's going to go offside, so can they set their audible so there shouldn't be any flags. They're about to really start it here right now.
Yeah, these guys sometimes agree with that ahead of time. Hey, I need a bit more time to set my things up. Are you cool with that? Yes, and we're in it.
And what they're setting up is once you're at the play call screen in Madden, you can do your formation subs, which allows you to put the exact players you want in the exact positions for each formation. And then you also have to set audibles so you know what plays you're bringing with you to the line of scrimmage in case you want to check out the play you brought to the line of scrimmage.
Ibestrafing will get it first for the Vikings, and he gets blown up in the backfield. Ricky Williams, the legend, goes nowhere. And it's crazy having legends on your team in salary cap.
Yeah, let me explain that, Scott. These guys, when you're watching, it's not going to be the normal Oakland Raiders versus Minnesota Vikings. These guys constructed their teams with former NFL legends and current NFL players. They had a salary cap that they needed to keep their team under. So it's not the normal teams. These are teams that are constructed by these players that they put together, kind of like a daily fantasy lineup.
And he'll throw it away with Michael Vick. You see the speed. It was 1977, the last time these two teams met in the Super Bowl. Super Bowl 11, where the Raiders won 32-14 over the Vikings. Fred Biletnikoff was the Super Bowl MVP. Fran Tarkenton couldn't get it done that day, and Michael Vick is facing some of the same pressure, and here comes a 4th and 19.
And you know who won that Super Bowl, Scott? It was none other than John Madden himself for the Oakland Raiders. So could the stars be aligning for Pavan as he starts off with a huge defensive stand to open it up?
And just a youngster, but maybe his experience is long past his years. He's going to have great field position at the 40-yard line. 1st and 10, Skim.
Yeah, bad punt by Ibestrafing. Normally when we're at this level, we can pin it right out of bounds. He left it in bounds for him for that return.
Music stopped playing. I don't know if it died. Music stopped playing.
All right, so they're going to step in here. Music in your playlist and all the things that you got going are so important at this level. These guys like to get in the groove, especially these younger guys. They need their Drake. They need all that kind of stuff playing in their ear to really lock in.
Yeah, you're playing for $100,000 up there on the main stage. You need to make sure you're extremely comfortable. We heard Pavan say the music stopped playing. He's like, I'm not playing. Well, the music stopped playing. You get it back up and running.
And you know this, Skim. You've done this. You've won this 3 times on a big stage like this. You want everything to be absolutely perfect.
Yeah, I've been here. I've played for the 100,000. If it's not exactly how it needs to be, I'm definitely going to take my pause, talk to an admin, and make sure it gets right before we start the game.
Maybe he got on the wrong playlist. A little Bieber, a little T-Swift. You can't rock some Madden to that.
You can't just throw his playlist out. I got his real playlist. He says he's got a little Kodak, a little Meek Mill, some Lil Wayne, and he says he's rarely been on that A Boogie with a hoodie.
Just a reminder, the prize money, we talked about it, $100,000, a trip to the Super Bowl, and this locks them in. They're already locked in right now to the Madden Bowl. That's our big championship at the end of the year. We have 4 majors. We're just on major number 2, but it's special because it's all 32 teams. It's during the Super Bowl week, and we can't wait to see how this is going. And an early stop by Pavan. The youngster. This in Madden terms, this is the young guy versus the old guy, Skim.
Yeah, I mean, Ibestrafing, we kind of grew up in the same time period. We're both 27 years old. While Pavan, on the other hand, he's 18 years old. And you know what? Some people in his crew, they considered him the worst player in his crew, and now he's got a chance to be one of the best players in the world.
All right, he's not playing Minesweeper there. He's getting his playlist going. So here we go. It's locked in. He's locked in. Want to give a big shout out to those watching out there on our ESPN family and networks. Scott Cole, RG, Michael Skimbo, the 3-time Madden championship belt winner, is with us.
And it's funny, you heard Skim say it. He feels he's been slept on by a lot of the community. Who I'm speaking about is Pavan. And he said, you know what? The quote I have from him is, I'm coming into this tournament and I want respect on my name. Everyone thinks I'm the third best in my crew between Henry and Allen. That's his crew members. I feel slept on and I will make a name for myself. Well, guess what? You're live on ESPN. Everybody knows your name. You've made a name for yourself. Now can you make the $100,000, Pavan?
And one of these guys is going to win their first Madden belt here tonight. Able to shake by one, gets away from another, and Vic throws it right up the sideline. Tyreek Hill all the way down to the 5-yard line.
Oh, that was a big play for Pavan, but I think this spin at the very end was unnecessary, Scott. You see him roll out, playmaker. Here's Hill, just stay outside. No need to spin. That could cost him.
That's an unfortunate break right there, obviously, for Ibestrafing, but that's Michael Vick.
Yeah, Vic will break tackles. He will be able to get outside of the pocket. They call him the second greatest video game character of all time next to Super Mario.
Well, the power O turned into the power O no. Pushes him back to the 7-yard line.
Throughout this tournament, I know Pavan's in the finals, but this is where I feel like he struggled in the red zone, and this is where Ibestrafing's very good in the end zone on defense.
We call that the bunch formation.
Wheel route on the right side.
And he wheels him up and overthrows. That's what we talked about Michael Vick, guys. But we got to highlight Randy Moss, one of the best wide receivers of all time. He's going to be looking for 84 all game long.
Yeah, and both players in this game are going to have Randy Moss on their team in their lineup.
Throws it to the outside. There's the high point. He drags the back of the feet. The heels are in bounds. Touchdown, Pavan.
I mean, Randy Moss on a wheel route, that's been one of the best routes in the red zone for years. He goes to it. If you're Ibestrafing, the next time he gets out down here, you got to figure out how to make him throw another route.
So this will be the second possession for Strafing. Remember, he had to punt it on his first time he touched the rock. Let's look at this replay again. Elevates. That's elevation, Holmes. And then the reaction. Feeling it.
Look at that reaction. A lot of emotion for Pavan, 18 years old, from Yuba City, California. That's a lot of pressure for this young man to be on the main stage playing for $100,000. But he's been up to the task all tournament long, and look at the focus on his face. That's the look he's had all tournament. That's the eye of the tiger look.
Well, Strafing, viewing the scouting report, knows that Pavan, on a nice pass downfield to the GOAT, Jerry Rice. He knows that Pavan likes to be aggressive on the line, so he got him to jump there early, and then a nice play. Nice bouncing back here by Strafe.
Great call. Ibestrafing had the scouting report. Pavan really likes to do puts his defense on aggressive. What about that, RG?
Yeah, you got to fake snap if the defense is on aggressive. Try to draw that D-line offline. When we say Pavan's got his D-line on aggressive, it's like a coordinator telling his D-line, play the pass, go after the quarterback, don't worry about the run. And it's going to leave you vulnerable to the run and jumping off sides because you're playing aggressive if your opponent fakes snaps.
Strafing's talking to him, trying to break the focus of the young man. Neither of these guys have won a championship. They've never even been in a final. That's how crazy this week has been.
Ooh, that's scary.
We played a ton of games of Madden. They had to win 10 straight just to get here, just to have this very moment.
See that, Scott? You hear him say, that's scary right there. Mike Vick is a phenomenal weapon to have on your offense, but when you start scrambling with him, you got to protect him because if he gets hit hard, he will cough that ball up, and that's not something Strafing can afford right now, especially after being stopped on his first possession.
That'll bring up a 2nd and 6, using a lot of the play clock, and once again, Pavan is in the background.
Talk about inside zone defense. But this is what I've been talking about all week. It's who scores 7 in the red zone. Threes, they're great, but you have to get touchdowns when you're down here.
Throw to the outside. This is huge, not only for the money, but this is all part of the MCS, the Madden Championship Series. And trying to earn those points is huge as you try to make your way to the Madden Bowl. A lot has that to do with seeding. And it's up, and it is good. So he does get on the board on his second drive, and we got a 4-point ball game.
And interesting enough, Strafing in this entire tournament, Scott, dating back to when he won his Vikings Club Championship, so 6 games in a row, every time he's crossed his opponent's 40-yard line, he's been able to turn it into points. He keeps the streak alive right there.
You can see there is Michael Skimbo, the guy that's standing next to me right now. Strafing's there at the 3rd, and Pavan there at the 4th position. So a win here would put them at the #1 position. And there's a sack.
I'm going to say, back home, if you watch this, you're thinking these guys call the same stuff all the time. If you're a fan of football, though, watch Ibestrafing play defense and offense. It's literally something different every time.
Yeah, whereas most players, they'll bounce around between maybe 4 or 5 different base plays that they'll adjust out of. Strafing's averaging about 14 to 15 different plays that he mixes around throughout the game.
Vic for Pavan. Will take it to the 19, so here comes a big 3rd and long. Boy, does Strafing need a clutch up here and get a stop.
Yeah, I feel like Pavan's probably going to go to the corner route to the wide side right here with the post.
Needs to get out to the 35-yard line.
Yep, looking for Moss on this corner route. Strafing knows it. Nope, there it is.
And Moss. We asked Pavan earlier today, what are you going to do with those Super Bowl tickets if you win? He said, I'm letting my dad and my brother go to the show.
How about Skim Romo up here in the booth? Scott calls that corner route. Very popular in the gun bunches. You want to run those flood concepts where you're going to send a receiver vertical, have a receiver run a deep corner towards that sideline, and have some sort of flat route underneath. Overload that defense. A lot for them to account for.
He's going for it all with B up the sideline.
He might have it.
He's looking to the end zone, and Roberts will hang on. Another touchdown for Pavan.
Are you kidding me? 18 years old, on the main stage with ice in your veins. Mike Vick rolls out and let one rip. And now he's up 2 possessions, and he'll get the ball at the half. The young one's got all of the momentum.
That play has worked ever since Michael Vick came into the league.
Yeah, and that's just lab work. His whole crew, they're the first ones that got me with it about a month or 2 ago. This route that goes up the sideline, you can sometimes get over the top of the coverage. What a perfect time to pull out your money play to go up 14-3.
And when Mike Skim says lab work, what he's talking about is that's practice, that's preparation. That's how these guys prepare. They get in the lab, obviously labbed up that deep ball right there, and a little salute right there from the young one.
Yeah, 2 times. He's up 14-3 now. Strafing has got to respond here for the Minnesota Vikings. And there's Jerry Rice at the 42. That route's been open for him.
Yeah, I talk about Ibestrafing's defense all the time, but his offense has been just as good. These quick snap play action plays with a quick snap inside zone have worked very well for him.
So I'll bring up a 1st and 10 in plus territory. We're already in the waning seconds of the first quarter. And he'll roll into a pick. He didn't see him, and there's the legend, Ronnie Lott.
And Pavan's talking to him. He's capping that Strafing.
And it's a heck of a way to end the first quarter. You see the pick just hanging out in there. Right now, the youngster is in control. He's up 14-3. But folks, we got a long way to go. Come on back for some more Madden. The Madden NFL 19 Club Championship is presented by Progressive Insurance. A touchdown for your budget. Visit progressive.com. You can see the Vikings are behind their man Ibestrafing, trying to represent the NFC and their club up in Minnesota. Said Strafing's on his way. Well, right now he needs some energy, he needs some magic, he needs some love from the state of 10,000 Lakes, as he finds himself down 14-3 to the youngster who's representing the Oakland Raiders. Scott Cole, RG Skimbo back in the building here for the second quarter. With 5 minutes gone by, it's looking really good for Pavan. And there's a tip. Strafing needs something like that, RG, some sort of turnover to get him back in this ball game.
Oh, yeah, he's going to have to make a big play. I mean, that last interception, you're throwing across the field, across your body. It's a disaster in NFL football, and it's a disaster in Madden. He's going to need to make up for that. But you know what? In a football game, one play can make the difference to get you all the momentum back. He's still very much in it.
There's a sack. It's a user sack. Clicks on and makes the play.
You look there, Pavan actually broke the sack the first time, just like a while ago, except this time he has some boys coming for the cleanup.
Yeah, good awareness by Strafing to click onto his user defender, as you see right here, and make the sack himself. Look at this, clicks on, boom, user sack. And you're gonna see that on a high level. Casual Madden players will let the AI do the majority of the actions for them. These guys are doing everything user controlled.
Vic will take off, gets a block. It will slide down at the 44.
Even in Madden, you got to punt it here, right?
No, he's going to go for this.
No.
He's going to go for this, Skim. And I'll tell you, and here's the reason why, is your casual NFL fan's going to be watching what's going on. You got to remember, an NFL game is an hour long. You got 4 15-minute quarters. In this game, it's only a 20-minute game. You got 4 5-minute quarters, so possessions become that much more important, which means they get that much more aggressive. And as I do that rant, he decides to get the boot out and do the smart thing.
You're up 14-3. You get the ball at half. Smart decision right there by Pavan.
But keep that note. You will see these guys go for it a lot more aggressively on 4th down than you're used to if you're just a casual football fan. And that's because of the shorter quarter length.
Well, that's not a good punt. Only to the 22-yard line. And so Strafing maybe getting a lifeline here. If you go down here and score, we got ourselves a ball game. Even a field goal makes it a 1-possession game. And he'll spin with Vic. That's awfully risky. Lucky to just get out of bounds at the 39. He's taking some chances. He's really feeling that deficit.
But that's just how he plays. If he was up, he would do this. If he's down, he would do this. If it was tied, he would do this. He's the most unpredictable player we have on the circuit.
Got to get rid of it.
And one thing I'm seeing from Strafing is throughout this tournament, over 50% of his play call on 1st down has been a run and inside zone to establish the run and set up that play action. We haven't seen him run the ball very much so far on offense.
We asked him what he would do with the Super Bowl tickets. He said he was going to take his wife Amy to the game, that they're going. Looking. Boy, he's got nobody. No one is open. Here comes a 3rd and 20.
Great defense. Look for him to dial up the pressure right here. He's going to be sending the heat, I believe.
Got to at least get half of this back. 2 down territory.
Here they come.
And he playmakers up wide and nearly threw a pick.
Was that Jerry Rice with those hands?
Oh, the GOAT Jerry Rice. And only an ultimate team will you see Mike Vick slang the rock to a guy like Jerry Rice. But this is a game of inches. Pavan almost got the interception right there. Strafing very fortunate. His receiver able to hold on to that ball.
Come on, man.
So that's going to bring up a 4th and 5. He's going to take this all the way down and call a timeout just to think about this decision. That's a veteran move in the first half.
What it was, Scott, is he knows he's going to go for this. His receivers were tired because he keeps sending them out on routes. And when he was saying, come on, he could see at the play call screen that how tired his receivers were. So he needed to call the timeout to give them the rest so they have full energy on this very, very big 4th and 5. This is huge.
Trailing by 11. He needs to get to the 49-yard line to extend the drive.
He normally loves hitting his tight end right here on these kind of plays.
Little play action. And boy, that was a risk. He fumbled it.
Ball back.
And Pavan has jumped on it.
Come on, man. That last play was a pick. Good play. That was a good play.
Boy, this is unfortunate here, RG.
Oh, Randy Moss gets his hands on it, gets popped immediately right after. Fumble, Pavan's defender puts his life on the line, dives on it, covers it up. And that's devastating if you're Ibestrafing.
And I know what you might be saying at home on this big run, but after that fumble, you're saying, challenge it, challenge it. There's no challenges in Madden. It's either right or wrong. There's no gray area. And now he's in control. He's going to take this all the way down. I can't believe it on that fumble, gentlemen. We're going to the 2-minute warning.
To be honest, though, I mean, it was a fumble, but it could have been an incompletion. Would have gave Pavan better field position. Although you want Randy Moss to hang on to that, it could have been worse for Ibestrafing.
That's a good point, Mike.
So he's right at midfield at the 50-yard line. This kid is 12 minutes away from winning $100,000 and going to the Super Bowl.
Getting that respect on his name that he's been talking about.
And he throws it away. Second year of playing Madden for him. Ibestrafing has been around a long time. Scott Cole along with Michael Skimbo, 3-time belt winner. RG, former player, works in development for EA, knows this game inside and out. Tyreek tries to spin.
Good click on by Ibestrafing, strafing up and getting that tackle.
You're strafing, you need to stand up for yourself here on defense. You've lost a ton of momentum. Pavan's been in an advantageous position almost all game long, but all it takes is one play and one swing of momentum to get things back in your favor. He's going to need to do it sooner than later.
And a similar down, Pavan went to the corner route right here. See if he goes to it again.
He needs 8. Got to get to the 40. And wide open is the legend Shannon Sharp out of Savannah State. Rumbles to the 26-yard line.
And it looked like Strafing was thinking the same thing as Skimbo up here. He took his future defender and ran with that slot receiver to the corner. But what that did is leave the middle of the field wide open because he was controlling that middle of linebacker whose hook zone was supposed to be in that middle of the field.
Under a minute now to go.
He has the corner.
Missed it. He's got to get down.
And he'll slide with Vic, and Ibestrafing will use his second timeout. He has 1 remaining. Pavan has all 3 of his timeouts for this last 50 seconds of the first half. Looking, and he'll be sacked back at the 25-yard line.
And this is going to be a big sequence here, Scott. If Pavan's able to go out here and get a touchdown, it's going to make it a 3-possession ball game. But if Strafing can hold him to the field goal, it's still a 2-possession ball game, which is much more manageable for him.
Honestly, if I'm Pavan here, I'm running the ball, taking all this clock with me, kicking a field goal and going into the half. Because if you throw an incompletion here, you kick your field goal and you're giving Ibestrafing at least 30 seconds to make a play happen.
It's the voice of Michael Skimbo. Won this thing 3 times on this stage. Vic. Looking and won't get away, but the clock will continue to move.
Yeah, dangerous sack right there, but I think Pavan thought what I thought. I got to get that clock moving. So he took a sack and just hoped Vic would hang on to the ball for him and not fumble.
And what he's going to do here, he's going to wind this clock all the way down. You see that play clock right there and this game clock? He's going to take this play clock right here all the way down to 0 and then to 1 second and then call a timeout before he kicks this field goal. He may be young, but he understands clock management and he knows how to play football on a high level, especially John Madden football.
Right you are, partner. Down to 2 timeouts, 10 seconds. It's going to be a 44-yard field goal for here. Dan Bailey is his kicker.
Got to watch the block.
He's going to hold it a little longer. He did not kick it perfectly on the meter, but it's right down Main Street, and that pushes his lead all the way up to 2 touchdowns. 17-3 for Pavan and the Raiders.
Kicked it.
We talked about John Madden. Last time these two teams got together, he won his first Super Bowl. Maybe a little Madden magic from the man himself coming into Pavan and the Raiders.
Go, go, go.
6 seconds left in the half. No timeouts. And he will hand it off.
Good second.
And that's how the first half will come to a close. When we come back, a lot more John Madden football here from San Francisco. Don't go anywhere.
All right, so, ready?
Yeah.
Hours played per day.
Hours played per day. During grind time, at least.
Say 6 to 8 hours.
Probably
4 hours.
5 to 8 hours.
I like to keep it low. I want to keep my mind fresh, so between like 2 to 3 hours a day.
Any off season?
No.
It's a long journey to get here.
Preparation?
Madden, they have a little Twitch channel where they stream all their games. I love watching those and seeing what my opponent likes to do.
Tournaments per year?
I just go to the 4 majors.
It's the home of the Madden 19 Club Championship.
Madden community.
I'm constantly meeting more and more guys each year, learning more and more about people off the field as well as on the sticks. So I describe it as family and competition.
Rage quit?
No, I don't ever rage quit. No.
Oh yeah, who doesn't?
I don't rage quit. I don't lose.
Wow. There you have it, ladies and gentlemen. We have a new Patriots Club champion winner.
Trash talk?
Everybody does. No.
I just let my game, do the speaking.
You can't beat me. Living up to his name. Crushing it.
Yo, that hurt. That gotta hurt.
I try to keep it to a minimum.
Belt or cash prize?
At first it used to be about the belt, and it still is, but man, that money tastes good. I like money.
Both.
Probably the belt.
Cash. Then build.
Belt. The belt is just what means the world to me. Like, this is what I play for. I want to, show people that I'm the best, and the belt's the only way you can really prove that.
Well, it depends. I'm going for legacy at this point, so I want my second belt.
Comes down and catches it. Are you kidding me? We are here at the half. Current score 17-3. The youngster and the Raiders up 14 over Strafen. Come on back.
The MCS, it's always about finding the best player.
Let's go! Come on, man!
The Madden Classic is old school Madden at its finest.
Anybody could join. It wasn't any qualifications. You just show up and you play.
Sit on the same couch as your opponent, talk some trash, get in your face, and battle it out.
The club tournament is on salary cap, so you can't have every best player in the game. I feel like it's the mode with the biggest skill gap because you have to create a team, you gotta be the GM of the team, and then you also have to perform on the field. And you can build a team to your strengths or build a team to your weaknesses, and whichever one gives you the best chance to win.
The Madden Challenge, we won't be able to pick our own schemes. It'll just be all random. You know, it's called freestyling. They give us 3 players to choose from, and then we just pick one. It'll be 20 rounds of that, and that's your team.
There's a lot of strategy involved. You get limited on playbooks even, so it takes a lot of creativity to win.
Madden 18 Challenge champion.
There are a lot of opportunities to qualify for the bowl, which is what makes the bowl so interesting, is you end up getting the strongest field possible to crown the best Madden player.
And young Kev is gonna be your champion.
They get 2 players from the Madden Classic. We're gonna take 4 from the Madden Club Championship. The Madden Challenge, they're gonna take 2 spots. 6 guys are gonna be for the next highest MCS points. If you don't make any noise for the first 3 tournaments, you have the last chance qualifier to make a name for yourself.
Come on, man!
I think it's a little bit of everything. You do it for the people you play with because a lot of these dudes are family. So you play with them, you play for them, you play for your family, you play for money, you play for all sorts of things. It's a community, so that's why we do it.
Revis! Oh! Kill! You called it, Tim. Oh, what a time. We are back in San Francisco. The half is over, and it's time to get back into the ball game here with the 17-3 is the score. And I got some more bad news, gentlemen, for our man from the Minnesota Vikings. Pavan is going to start with it here in the second half.
Yeah, it's looking grim for Ibestrafing, but I'll tell you what, you have a better chance of drowning Aquaman before you're going to see Ibestrafing quit in this game. He knows he's 1 play away from getting all of the momentum back, but this is going to be a huge momentum drive that could really define this game. This is a big one, Scott.
Vic looking, and he gets hit as he throws.
Incompletion.
Eyeballing you. Jesus.
Boy, everything, even when things are bad, they still go his way. We all been there in a game of Madden. 2nd and 10. Trying to find out who's going to be the club champion, who's going to the Super Bowl and putting $100 grand in their bank account. And Tyreek will hold on at the 31.
And you got to remember, Scott,